Distance. So how much distance is enough distance? And there's no cut and dried answer that I could give you for this, because it is part of a spectrum. And it depends on several things. One thing it depends on is, let's say, well, you're isolating by some distance. How much? It depends a lot on what is in between there. If between them, let's say 100 meters, I basically go with at least 100 meters apart. And at that distance, if between them I've got a hayfield, or let's say a field of buckwheat, or a hayfield with clover and daisies and all kinds of stuff in there, what happens is the bees, they don't spend their time going all over the place. They get to this isolation and they get all of your KO pollen they can. They go back to the hive, they come back again and back and back and back. And then in between, they go to the clover and all this. Well, by the time they get over to that other isolation, they've been back and forth to the hive and emptied their little baskets out so many times that they probably are pretty clean. If, on the other hand, that 300 meters between them was a parking lot or desert, then the chances are, okay, all done here, where are we going to, we're over there, So what's between them is a big factor. Probably also the mechanism. What kind of, if it's bumblebees are the main pollinator, the only pollinator, then that actually helps a lot, because bumblebees, as you can imagine, they don't dribble too hard, Whereas syrphid wasps, honeybees can travel a couple miles. They usually won't, but they can if that's where the distance is. So knowing the pollinator can help a little. The biggest thing, and it's the hardest one to really quantify, to put your thumb on, is what extreme of purity, what guarantee do you need? And that'll depend on you. If you, for example, let's say he and I both love carrot. I love scarlet gnat. We both love scarlet gnats carrots, and we both love red cord chantenay carrots. And we only have one isolation each. So one strategy would be for he's going to grow all the scarlet chantenay for both of us as scarlet gnats, and I'm going to do the red cord chantenay for both of us. And we're far enough apart that, and it also helps, by the way, that most seeds, the extension people and the seed people, they would like to make you think that you've got to go back every year and get new seeds. Carrots, 4 or 5, especially stored properly, which we'll talk about later, could be good for 5, 6, 8 years. So he's going to grow a big load of scarlet gnats. I'm going to grow a whole. Now I've got to trust him to get it right. Then he knows what he's doing, and he hasn't got queen ants lace. He's got to trust me to make. But if I can do mine right, so I'm growing them both. This is a community strategy for dealing with pollination issues. But let's just say he's going to grow them both in his garden, and he's got them separated by. No, he hasn't got 100 meters. He's got them. I don't know. Let's say he's got them 80 feet apart. That's not. Again, it's not impossible. It's not great to get some crossing, very likely in there. But consider this. A cross of, these are two elegant varieties. A cross of red cord chantenay and scarlet gnats is going to be a pretty elegant variety. It's going to be totally, it's not he's going to get crap that he can't eat, unlike crossing with Queen Anne's lace. And both of those varieties are all over the marketplace. So let's say after a couple of years he's got so much crossing and he really wants to get back and get some pure seed. Easy to do. If, on the other hand, I'm often in a situation where I've got this variety with some rare variety of something which is one example I think of is Srebrenica chard, Swiss chard from the town of the USDA has it. It was collected by some friends of mine. Srebrenica, as you may know, during the Balkan crisis was basically an ethnic cleansing that basically was massacred, destroyed. And it's very likely that that particular variety, the original gardeners, farmers who grow that variety are now lying in a mass grave. This is a variety which has incredibly important cultural and whatever, so there's important variety. If I'm growing that variety, then I'm going to pay a lot more attention to whatever beet or chard is near it. I'm going to pay a lot more attention. Also complicated by the fact, just by the way, that Beta vulgaris is wind pollinated. Makes it a little more complicated. All the stuff I'm telling you about the bugs doesn't work quite that way. So these are some of the parameters that you're dealing with. Is if you can really stand a fair amount of crossing, it's not going to be a biggie, then you can have it much closer together. If you demand, if it's so vital, you have absolutely 100% need of keeping 100% pure seed, then you should plant one variety in one corner of your garden and the other one on Venus. And cross your fingers, because I've heard that they found some molecular compounds, methane or something in satellite or whatever, I don't know. So that's what you got to do. But somewhere in between there, you've got to decide what you can. It's always good to be better than less, to have them far apart and so on.